So, all right, welcome everybody to Wapiti Wednesday Q&A for June 19th. So, tonight's discussion is about you went and checked your trail cameras and you have pictures of elk. Now what? What do you do with that data and how can you use that data this September? So I figured this would be a good topic because, we went up this weekend and swapped the SD cards. Um, we swapped the SD cards on the cameras that we've had out there for 3 weeks. I think Memorial Weekend is when we put those four cameras out. So, good evening, Greg. You did make it.
I made it.
Hey,
So
Greg.
we
They
were
won 4-3, so it was good.
nice.
Oh,
So see, they won, and you made it in time for here. So that's a win-win.
Yeah, I paid no attention to all the accidents occurring behind me.
You're not responsible because they're behind you. So, but no, we were just getting started. So this weekend we went up and swapped out cameras, and it was kind of funny because the plan was Liz and Knox and I were going to get up there early enough on Friday that we were going to hike into the one basin and swap the card on that first camera, the solo camera. And then Saturday, us as a group was going to do the loop for the other three. And Bryce called me Thursday night and said, well, hey, I really want to take Brandon into that basin and show him around. And I was like, oh, okay, we can divide and conquer. So, we can just split into two groups Saturday morning. And so got up there and just really focused on Liz and Knox shooting their bows and got Liz 20-yard pin dialed in. And it's kind of funny. She would shoot for a little bit and then take a break, and then she'd come back. She'd be drilling the dot. She'd take a break, and then she'd come back and she'd shoot over the target. And she'd be like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, "Babe, that's this difference of here to here." She goes, "There is no way that the hand from here to here can make that much of a difference." I said, "Really?"
Well, the challenge is on.
So basically, we sat there and I said, "Okay, put your hand down here. Now have your hand up here. Now have the tip of the string, the tip of your nose on the string here. Now move the string here. Now move it over here." And she's like, "You got to be joking." And I said, "Easy thing is, babe, you have your sight housing, you have your peep sight. If your sight's like this, then your hand is too low. If it's here, it's too high. If it's here, your nose is not right. So just make sure you get this every time with your hand." And I said, "And you should feel that string in the corner and on the tip of the nose the same." And man, once she started doing that, she just started drilling that dot. So then Saturday we split up and we go in and we pull cards and then we meet back at camp. And now mind you, I get up to the first camera and I'm like, man, there's not much that there's not a lot of tracks. Well, first off, we're going up the face, and as soon as we get to where it rolls, you could see where something was bedded right there and took off. And I was like, there was probably a bull, or there was an elk bedded right here that watched us come up the face. And then we got on the old road, and Liz just kept going, "Do you smell that? Do you smell that? Do you smell that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, they're right here." But we get to where the camera is, and there's not a lot of tracks on the trail. And I'm like, man, what the heck? And so I just swapped the card out and we go to where the old road loops around the creek. And there's a trail that comes in S's. And man, that trail had a lot of sign on it. I was like, maybe I should move the camera. And I'm like, no, let's just see what's on the card. We get to the second camera, same thing. The trail's not all beaten down like it was. Get to the third camera, not a lot of tracks. We get back to camp and those guys were already there. And I asked Bryce, I said, "How'd it go?" And he goes, "I don't know if that's a good spot for the camera. There's not much sign and, not a lot of fresh tracks." And I said, "Well, Bryce," I said, I'm not expecting to get a lot in that basin right now because I'm thinking that's more July, August, into the rut. So we all huddle around the laptop, and the first card I plug in is from the camera they swapped. The day after we set the camera, there was a 5x5 walking by. Now that's a 5x5 at the 1st of June with 2.5 months of growing left, where they can grow possibly an inch a day.
Yeah.
So then we go to the next card and the next card and the next card. By the time we're done, we have 12 different bulls, 6 different bucks, and one really good solid bear. I'm like, I think we'll leave the cameras where they're at for a little while. So,
Makes sense to me.
but that's what prompted tonight's discussion. So, one thing we're going to start off with, remember a couple of weeks ago when we did the OnX tools and I explained about the trail camera feature. So I want to show you guys, share this, share. Okay, can you guys see this all right?
Yeah.
So here's the cool thing that I found out about this. It's really easy to import photos on these, because remember I said how you could upload photos? And the cool thing is when you upload photos, it takes the stamp from the trail cam card and categorizes everything by the date that the picture was taken. So, but let's just show you guys a little bit about what we uncovered. Oh, come on. How do you guys like this guy?
Whoa, he's going
Oh, early.
Oof.
Do you guys remember me talking about Growler last year? That's a 370 that I bumped into last year.
Yeah.
This is Growler.
Ah,
The other good surprise we got, how about that for $1?
Wow.
Pretty nice.
How about the width on this dude?
whoa.
Because that's not Growler. I think that's Whistler.
Hmm.
I gotta move things around here. Funky horn bull. So, but yeah, that's really cool how this all categorizes everything by the dates. Here's another one that we have. This was June 13th. Still another month and a half of growing. Another 30 to 45 inches coming on this dude. Good front.
Awesome.
And then the funny thing was on this one. Now I got a funny story. This camera right here had 296 pictures.
Oh.
But this has 2 raghorns that just keep coming in and chasing each other up and down this old road. And of course, I once again have another one that likes coming in and sniffing my camera.
Yeah.
But
No kidding.
three nights in a row. But these 2 right here, I have a whole series of pictures where they just sit here and chase each other up and down this road. This one right after this, I had both of them standing up on their hind legs pawing at each other, but I accidentally deleted it.
Oh.
Ugh.
So, but they're just chasing each other up and down this road. Like a couple of kids. Here, this one's bucking, kicking the one behind.
So it just saves pictures. It doesn't save videos.
I only have it on photo mode right now.
Okay.
As it
But-
gets As it gets,
Onyx would save,
yeah. So as it gets closer to season, I will switch the camera to video.
but Onyx does save videos too.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
So, but there's that bear.
Mm.
Ooh.
Good bear. So anyways, I just wanted to piggyback off of the other OnX. So, cool feature that I discovered when you upload your photos on there, it will take the timestamp from the photo and organize everything by date. So,
Good.
so nice feature. But yeah, so it was kind of funny because Liz passed her bow hunter's ed. Now we're getting really proficient with the bow. And I sat there and told her, I said, babe, I said, this old road right here with those raghorns, I said, all we have to do is just go up to that corner and just wait. I'll do some light cow calling early, and those two raghorns will just come barreling in. And she gets this look on her face, and I go, what? And she goes, oh, I see how it is. You're just going to put me on a raghorn while you guys go after those bigger bulls that are on the other cameras. I see how this is going to go. And I'm like, you're the one that sat there and said you didn't think you could execute the shot on a big bull like that. She goes,
I
well,
volunteer.
well, no. And then she goes, that's why you just need to stand next to me and do what you did with Kevin when you took those guys the first time. I stood right next to Kevin and I told Kevin, when I draw, you draw. If I'm not going to shoot, I will say no and you shoot the bull. Well, Kevin and I drew and I'm like, no. And he never shot, and the bull just walked out of our lives. And I let down and I looked, I said, why didn't you shoot? And Kevin's like, well, I'm not going to shoot a bull out from underneath somebody that called him in.
That's what you do.
So
Communication.
well, and we even explained it. And I said, do you understand? And he goes, yes. And so, I mean, I asked him, I said, did you not hear me say no? He goes, no, I heard you each time. But so with Liz, what we're going to do this way, so she knows exactly when to draw. When I draw, she draws. But the deal on this one is if she doesn't feel comfortable with the shot, then I'm going to take it. Because I told her, I said, we're not going to do the no deal. She goes, why not? And I said, because as soon as I start pronouncing N on no, it's going to be like clunk. So no, we'll just go you. So we got a plan. So, okay. So how to use this data. I will show you guys what I do. Okay. So what I do is I will take a spreadsheet and I label the spreadsheet for that year. So this one is basically 2024 trail camera data. And I create a tab for each of my cameras out there. And then I go through the pictures and I put the date that they came through, the time, the direction that they were heading, and then what it was. So once you do this coming up to season, then all of a sudden I can sort. I can take this and I can click on this, and then I can come over and I can basically sort on the data, and it'll put everything in chronological order, AM, PM, and it'll also bring all this too. So now I can get a really good understanding of what time they're coming through this area and what direction they're heading, which means which way they're coming from. Now, the reason this is valuable, because there's a lot of times that, we'll get into a spot and we'll be like, man, there's a lot of fresh sign. Did they come through earlier this morning, or did they come through last night? And so now what all this information gives us, we know exactly what time they're coming through these spots, and we know which way they're coming from. So now all we have to do is go, okay, well, we know they don't come through this area until 7:23 a.m. We're there at 6:30 a.m. We know we have about an hour. So now we can get the wind right because we know what the thermals are doing and we know which direction they're going to be coming from. So this is just another way to put us in the place where those elk are traveling through and at what time they're doing. But also, too, this will establish, is this spot a morning hunt or is this an evening hunt? Because you will have some areas that have way more activity in the morning than they do at night. If you look at this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times out of 22 that it was in the morning, the rest of the time it was in the PM. So right now, that's telling me that this is a heavy laden evening time. The other thing that's really cool is now what these pictures do is, let me go back to OnX. So last year when I was in this area, the first time I got into Growler was in the evening and he was right above this road. And he crossed the road and went out into this private. When I came back the next morning, they were flooding from this private up into this direction. And I always wondered, where do they go? Because we know this back here is bedding area. We saw all the beds, we saw all the rubs and this and that when we did the loop. Now, because of this one camera, this connects the piece of the pie for me, connects the puzzle. What they basically do in the evening, right off this corner, just underneath this blue line, there's an old cut road. That this logging road comes up and it just kind of comes into a chicken foot. But there's an old road that comes up into here. So in the evening time, they come from the bedding, they come down that old road, hit this road down, and then hit this timbered pocket down to cross this road and come out here and feed. And then in morning, they just do the opposite. They come here, right straight across, right up on this road, over, hit that old road. So now I know exactly, I can come skirt this around and I can be right over here because part of this road continues straight and curves. I could be sitting right here on this corner waiting for them to do their normal thing. I don't have to worry about my thermals because my thermals are blowing down this way. They'll be coming up this way, getting thermals from all this, hit this road, and then basically now when they get to this area to hit this old road, now I'm within striking distance that all I have to do is call him over 50 yards and he's within shooting range. So that's what all this information gives me. Evening time, now I know I can't sit on this corner because if I sit on this corner with thermals blowing up, it's going to hit that old road that they come down. So now I basically just get above this corner and same thing. Now when they're coming down that road, now I'm right here in position that I can work them. But also too, I know that if I'm staged on this corner, if they come by and get by me on this road, I know where they're heading. Now I can slip right in behind them, use the same road that they're using as a travel corridor to get up in here. Because remember how we've talked about once they get to a bedding area where they kind of settle down and mill around for a little while before they bed down, that's a great time to call in that bull. And I know because where that road goes, if I need to, I can just get up on the ridge, control my thermals, get on that same elevation that once thermals change and are blowing up, I don't have to worry about my thermals. Now I know exactly how to hunt all this area and what this group does. This group, same thing, they come up a major trail and from over here hit trails up to this old road and then use this old road to come around and come up into this area in bed. Now I'm just sitting there waiting, making sure thermals are right. Again, now I'm right where they're going to bed down and I can work them when they're settled down. This camera, they come from this bedding area in the middle of the day out onto this green open ridge and feed during the middle of the day. Now, once again, I can position myself. I don't have to go in and bump their bedding area. I don't have to bump them out. Now I can strategically place myself to catch them when they move over here to feed. I also know where the creeks are in here, and we're starting to find wallows also. So that information from this spreadsheet is what I use to establish all that based on times and directions. And each time, like the weekend after 4th of July, we'll go up and we'll swap them out again. We'll swap it at the end of July. And then August, I'll switch it from photo to video. And now with the video, now you really get video of travel, and it just solidifies all this information even more. And the timestamps and everything. So that makes sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, I saw you shaking your head like, oh, me and Fritz need to step up our trail camera game.
But we have too many trail cameras.
Yeah. But do you guys collect any data and put it into anything like this?
No, we're too old.
Well,
Not true, Greg. Mm.
I'll tell you what, that I mean, I can even email this Excel spreadsheet out for those that want it. So
It's right up my alley because I collect information, and a lot of my friends over the years have just called them, oh, it's another Greg graph.
yeah, yeah. Well, this one's nice because you can maximize your efforts. And I know you guys hunt the same area year after year after year, but this is a way that, you know, the nice thing is too is you can get so much information. You can get, you know, where their exit paths are when they get pressured. But it's kind of one of those things that when you're sitting there going, man, where do you want to go tomorrow? Or let's say you go on a morning hunt, you shoot a bull, you pack it off, you're back at camp or back at the cabin, and now all of a sudden you're like, man, where should we go this evening? We know exactly where they come through in the evening. We know which camp or which spot has the most activity in the evening. And so then you can really pick and choose and know exactly where to go to maximize your efforts and maximize your hunt. Jim, I can see the wheels. I know Jim's
No,
sitting there
no,
thinking, God dang it, Arizona doesn't allow trail cameras
I was
anymore.
actually
Bastards.
thinking I'm gonna video this and take it to Game and Fish and show them what you can do with this information. That's exactly, you're right. That was exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
There are my marks,
Okay.
like you've done on for your cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
Those aren't all cameras, but yeah. But we kind of know when they come through what trail we're going to hunt, and we try not to go on the same trail too frequent.
Right.
So we rotate a lot.
Yep. No, and that's good to do. Saturday, I think Bryce and I are going to run up just for the day. We're going to take the bikes and ride the motorcycle trail and get 2 or 3 more cameras out on the upper part. Just because we don't have anything up on that top half, and that's where we saw a majority of the rubs last year was on that upper part. And so I feel we have this face covered pretty good and understand it. Now we just need to get that top part in, because right now on that face, I mean, 3 different days. And then once we get the top half, and I mean, we haven't even put cameras in over on the other spot where we got into all those bulls last year, and we're calling them off of private ground, because they go from public, cross a creek and into that private. We don't even have anything over there yet, getting information of what's in the area, when they're coming through, anything like that. So some of these cameras are the new ones that Bryce got me for Christmas. They're or for my birthday. They're a 3-pack from Sportsman's Warehouse for like $149. I was like, man, I might have to go pick up 3 more. I don't go pick up three more, and it's so cool though, because we were all like little kids on Christmas when we all sat down on the laptop to plug in
I
the SD
Yeah,
card
agree.
and see what was there.
Yeah, everybody gathers around
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and they're all,
everybody's huddled.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting in the
Moving the
chair.
other way. Look,
I'm sitting in one of my recliners in my trailer with the laptop on the small little table right in front, and the three of them are standing behind. And I'm hitting that right arrow going from picture, and it's like, oh, it's like, oh man, that's a cool shot. Oh wow, look at that bull. It's like, oh, look at that buck. And so, but the cool thing is too is with Knox hunting this year, he's going to have a deer tag and an elk tag in that area for the rifle, and so now it's like, okay, where's going to be a good spot to take him and set him down to maximize his opportunities also, and we have all that information, so it's going to tell us exactly where to go. But
pretty cool.
yeah,
trail cameras are a great tool if you use them the right way. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that they put cameras out, but they couldn't tell you what time of day they're coming through the area or what information. They'll have to go, oh well, let me go through my pictures. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna have to go through all your pictures, and let's say you have 250 pictures from one camera alone spread over a month and a half or 2 month time frame. Are you really going to be able to sit there and go through the pictures and memorize all the times and really lock that down? That's where the spreadsheet comes into play and does all that work for you.
yeah.
So,
Yep. There's some chair time to get all that data accumulated.
yeah, and also go through the pictures that one branch that was moving in the
Mm.
wind. What's kind of funny, that third camera, we're walking up to it, and I'm like, man, that camera looks loose. I know I tightened it. I know I strapped that thing down. So I put it back the direction I had it facing and tightened the strap down a little more. And then once I went through the pictures, I'm like, now I know exactly why that thing got bumped and was a little loose. That guy was slipping and licking and doing everything on that thing 3 days in a row.
Yeah,
Wankers. But
that's cool.
yeah, but still a lot of fun. So, well, that's it, guys. That was the meat and potatoes for tonight. Just quick,
It was
simple, and
good.
to the point.
Yes, very direct, very informative.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
is.
When we put a camera out, kind of, and it's exposed, kind of where if somebody goes by, they can see it or they can pick it out. I'll put another one somewhere a little bit more hidden, just looking at that camera,
Right.
To
so I can
see
get a
who
picture
steals,
of
to see who
who
steals it,
stole it.
right?
Yeah,
And that's what's funny about these cameras, because when we were walking to number 3, and I mean it was good too, because the first time we did the loop, um, Liz and Knox and I took a little bit different loop, and then all of a sudden we ended up on this. Once we crossed the last creek, we ended up on the end of this old road. And I was looking at my Onyx because I turned tracks on the first time, and she's like, well, where did you guys go? And I said, we were right up there. I said, not a big deal. I said, this road's just going to take us out to that ridge, and we have to drop down that ridge to where the camera is anyway. So let's just walk this road to where it comes out onto the ridge, and then we can drop down to the camera. And as we're walking that road, I'm looking at my Onyx, and I'm like, babe, this road is going to lead us right to where the trail camera is placed. Because last year, Bryce and I, when we went in to hunt this, we ran into a buddy of mine in the dark, and he was there before us. So he's like, yeah, I really like going up this left side. And I was like, yeah, you go up the left side, we'll go up the right side. He got to the top so stinking fast. And Bryce and I were like, how the heck did he get up there so fast? Now I know exactly how he got up there. from that main road, you take an old cut road, you hit an elk trail that goes up to that road, and then that road right straight back, and you're back in there in a hurry. But while I was watching the pictures, I was kind of chuckling because I was like, this guy has hunted this area for years. Why did he go all the way in the back to really start calling and hunting when he could have stayed right out on the face right out there and let those elk come to him and engage them there first and then continue to work them as they went back? Plus, walking that road, I'm like, you're walking the road, you're dropping scent with your boots on that road and that trail. Those elk coming up behind you, good chance they're going to smell that and they're going to deviate from their path and not do their normal routine. And I'm like, I don't think he's ever had put cameras out here just because he grew up hunting this area with his family. And he's like, I know it. I know where the wallows are. I know where the elk are. But he even sat there and said that he was sitting in the dark before we pulled up and was listening to bulls bugling out on the private. And I'm like, that's that same group that'll flood in right up here. He goes, oh yeah, they do the same thing every year. And then why are you going to max elevation with thermals blowing down with them coming behind you and underneath you? So, don't know. Maybe they change their pattern a little bit in the season. Maybe they don't hit that road. Maybe they just keep going straight up through the private and then loop over up high into that drainage. So I guess we have a couple of months to get data and figure it out.
It's getting there close.
June, all right, middle of June.
70. Actually, wait. What are we?
About 75, 80 days.
71 days.
My hunt's September 1.
So you are 72 days. We're August 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, we're right in that 71, 72 days. So yeah, it's going to be here quick, really quick. So okay, any questions?
Hey, when you turn the camera off, I want to share a screen with you for a moment.
Okay. If that's it, then we'll wind it up and I'll stop the recording. So, all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. As always, keep calling, keep practicing, and more importantly, though, have fun. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks on the next episode of Wapiti Wednesday Live Q&A. So,
Hey guys, stay aboard if you care to.